Two. Yeah.
45.
Looks like Tom Duncan.
Sounds like must be a duck.
Jersey girls are the best.
Yeah.
What?
The bunny ears are back. Welcome back to another edition of Laugh Underneath the podcast. And we are excited for this episode. We're already coughing up our lungs. We're doing all.
I haven't coughed all day, and then all of a sudden we hit record, and like I can't even breathe.
Because people don't recognize that amazing person's voice. It is the one and the only Kyle Draper.
Whoa,
Woo!
that was intense.
Hey guys,
Hey,
I've been practicing that one for a couple of weeks now, Kyle, just for you, man.
that was
we've been
incredible.
Excited to have you on. We've been talking about this one for a while now.
So I don't want to embarrass Maddie here, but I want you to know something. When we did our season wrap-up show last year, I said, okay, Maddie, what was your most favorite episode that you got to be part of?
No,
Guess what she said? Guess what she said?
no, you didn't.
I did.
Y'all say this to all of your repeat guests.
We're gonna send him the link to the episode. I swear.
He said it was Christine Beckwith. That was her favorite episode that she's part of. No, she loved the episode with you, man. She said that was
Come on.
dude. She loved
Just
it.
post it and Oh no, I can't say it. Of course,
Content compounding.
Yes.
content compounding
Yeah,
are forever stuck in my head since that episode.
I love it.
See,
Thank
helped-
you. Thank
helped-
you for being my
No,
my
thank
one
you
fan.
though. No, seriously though, because every time I'm like, oh, I don't want to post today, or it's like, just post it, just do it.
Could
So-
you make sure and leave an Amazon review
Absolutely.
saying that on
Yeah.
the book?
Well, this book was just like taking everything we learned.
Oh,
last
hold on. Let's put the horse back in the barn for a second now. Come on now. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay, this kumbaya moment's got us stop now. That's enough already.
Okay.
All right. So listen, we're here for round 2 with Kyle Draper, Coach Kyle Draper.
I'm ready.
By the way, congratulations on baby Ruby, man.
Thank you.
Yes,
That was-
you.
You are a proud papa of. This is your third one or fourth one?
It's third. Yeah.
Third, okay.
And it is kicking my butt.
Well, yeah. That's why
Whoa.
I stopped at 2.
Smart man.
Yes. Because by the way, table for 4 is easier than table for 5.
There's no doubt. It's so this isn't what today's about, so I'm not going to get into it, but it's like, I mean, like we leave and forget the diaper bag. We leave and forget the stroller. Like my wife and I have looked at each other and been like, why did we do this? We are not equipped to be parents of babies anymore.
Yeah.
But here we are.
But,
So
you know,
we're going to make the best of it.
I've heard of people like having their third or fourth, like in their 40s and 50s.
Well,
Imagine what they must go through, man.
I mean, I'm 40, so yeah,
There you go.
I'm
So
imagining it. It's very real.
you're living the dream. You are living the
It-
dream.
I'm not dreaming much, but it's something.
You got baby Ruby, and then you got this little baby called Rethink Everything, right?
Yes.
It's
At the
your
same
book.
time, how quick did one happen after the other when the launch came? I feel like it was like,
Yeah, it was really, Maddie, it was horrible timing for me. Right? Like it was so dumb. I don't know why I did it that way. I started writing the book in November, and we were in Mexico. My wife and I were on
your
vacation.
trip.
Right? It's in the book. And I wrote 4 chapters in Mexico. And so really the book was done by the end of February. And then March, my team like created graphics and got it all loaded into the right places. And then the book came out, and then the baby came out. And so I almost feel like I lost all my momentum for the book because I haven't worked for a month
Yeah.
because of baby Ruby. So
Yeah.
this podcast is going to hopefully help kind of get a
Jump
little
start.
resurgence
Yeah.
in,
I saw
in
your-
my,
I saw-
my momentum.
I saw your post this morning, so I'm glad that you're able to get out there, exercise this morning,
Yeah.
pumped up for this show. And I mean, I got some pumped up music for you, but I don't know if I'm having some issues, Kyle, and we're gonna have to redo my entire studio as well.
Oh,
We
no.
think that Fabi's hearing things. It's been like a thing that's been happening. He keeps asking if we're hearing
I
music,
got
and we're
this
like,
music for you, Kyle, right here. See,
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I'm thinking like I'm gonna call you up every morning. I'm gonna say, Kyle, you got to get up now. Let's go, baby.
Come on.
Time. It's time. Shake it, Kyle.
When's that
Come on.
when's that bass coming in?
Coming in right about now. Hang on.
I feel like I gotta put out like the Jersey fist pump.
Now, imagine you're reading Rethink Everything and this music is going through your head. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Did you feel it?
Straight fire.
Can you feel the energy in the room today?
I need you to send me this for my walk in the morning.
I do it, baby. I love it. See? Anyway, I got you, Kyle. I got you. Baby.
And I did, just so you know, I got a haircut for you guys today, this morning.
Looks nice, man.
What else have you done this morning? You took care of the baby, went for a walk, haircut. Now we're gonna come out.
I got our car washed.
Okay.
I watched, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, you're making the rest of us husband look really bad.
No,
What
it's
did-
called
what did I
it's-
do this morning?
It's called I haven't worked today. So I haven't made any money, but I've spent a lot on all the different things that I've done.
You got to stop, man. You got to stop now, Kyle. All right. So look, let's talk about the book.
Okay.
Because this book, so just to let you know, I bought it whenever I bought it, like I think when it came out, right? I was flying to Kentucky somewhere, Cincinnati Airport, I think, I don't know, Columbus Airport, Ohio. I think I read it in 40 minutes.
Of course you did. Yeah.
Because literally it was like one page led to the other page. It was like, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you're on chapter 8, and I'm like,
Right?
might as well keep going at this point.
Might
Your
as well.
mind is being blown away because you're like, oh my God, this is everything that we know about social media put into a book by somebody that's actually simplifying the whole process and taking the mystery out of it.
Thank you.
You know,
That's what I wanted people to say. So
I mean, that's what I
appreciate
got out of it, brother. I mean, you know, I think, in fact, if you remember, I posted some stuff up on Instagram, some of my few favorite things out of this book at that time. Your drawings were incredible. I think you nailed Arnold Schwarzenegger perfectly. I think that was like about as
dude,
good.
that was The Rock.
That was a rock. Sorry.
The Rock. Maybe I didn't nail him perfect.
Oh, no. I was thinking because I just saw that Arnold Schwarzenegger thing on Netflix the other day. Rock, Arnold Schwarzenegger, my generation, your generation, it's all the same, right? So anyway,
That's so funny.
Anyway, Maddie, you read it. What do you think of the book?
I mean, like I said, you were my favorite co-host. So when I read this book, I had high expectations, and you did not disappoint. And I think one thing, just to like kind of dive right into it, let's just talk about the fact that I've never ever read a book with QR codes. And for the ADHD in me, that really kept me
good,
engaged. I was like, bravo, just for that. Like, I have to bring it out there that like I don't think there's another book out there that I know of that's incorporating QR codes. And I think just like from COVID to now, think about how much QR codes have been like a staple in business, whether it's
100%
a restaurant with a menu, or, you know, we're doing open house flyers so that people can go and look at the MLS listings. Like, that to me was just proof in the pudding that you know what you're talking about when it comes to social media.
Yeah.
And you're not just, you know, putting in.
So the book was on its way to print without QR codes. And my mentor read the book and was like, okay, hear me out. What if you put QR codes in each chapter?
Wow. And
my first thought was, gosh, how many videos is that going to have to, like, that's so much work.
That's a lot.
I'm done. And I'm so glad that I listened to him, because everybody's had that feedback, you know, that it just really helped the book come to life and allowed me to deep dive into some things that could be spoken better than read.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that you enjoyed them.
I think it was just like going from 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional. It's like you talk. All right. So my interpretation of this book, like we said, it's an easy read in the sense that you can start and finish it in one day or one sitting. So I almost looked at it as like a guide where I'm going to be able to now go back to specific chapters or specific points. But then I also felt like now I also remember specific things from those chapters based on the video representation, based on the imagery, based on the examples and the exercises that you had us do. So kudos. I think that it
Thank
really
you.
brought it to the next level.
Kyle, where did your mentor get the idea from? You like, how, did you ask him?
Yeah, he actually, and I wish I could remember, but I can find out if you care.
Yes,
he
we
was
do.
reading a book, and gosh, I should remember, but the book he was reading had QR codes in it.
Yeah.
And he had never seen it before. And he even said, I feel like he said, like, this guy's QR codes, like, his videos aren't great. He's not great on camera, but the concept is great.
Mm-hmm.
And he just felt like I could do a much better job in front of the camera than that guy did. And that was where the idea came from, right? It's celebrating copy. I talk about it in the book.
Yeah.
You know, we saw somebody else do it and we thought, man, that's a brilliant idea. Congratulations to that guy. I'm going to do it too.
Well, didn't you also say in the book, everything's already been said?
100%.
Right? I mean, being a musician, that was one of our greatest things. Like, all the music's already been written. We just are doing it in different ways in different series of beats. You know what I mean?
100%. Yep.
So I think when we dive into social media, let's dive into this, Maddie. When we look at social media, the biggest challenge that most people come up with is, I'm not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, Kyle? I mean, how many times have you heard, dude, I want to do what you're doing.
Yep.
I mean, I want that studio. I want the lights in the back. I want to do, but how many years did it take you to get to that position of having that studio where you are today?
Oh, a long time. But then I watch you and everywhere I look, I go, gosh, my setup sucks. Like, I'm in this tiny little room. All my cubbies have been the same for 2 years. Like, this sucks.
We got a new book there. You got that Rethink Everything on the top left.
I do, you know, I gotta get that in there. So it's, you know, like, we just have to start. And I think it's fitting that we just had a baby. And I remember for our first child, you know, you're like, we got to get ready. We got to get ready. What books do we need to read? How much do we need to save? Like, what? And then parents come up to you and go, hey, buddy, hey, you're never ready. They're going to send you home with that thing, and y'all are going to be in the car and looking at each other going, what just happened? Like, they didn't give us a manual. They didn't send us with with assistance. We're just going home with this living being, and you figure it out. And I think there's so many areas of our lives where we're okay with that strategy. But for some reason with social media, we've convinced ourselves that there is a perfect way of doing it, and I've got to get it and figure that out before I start. And it's just such a lie that we believe that keeps us from showing up in front of our people.
Maddie, you posted something yesterday on Instagram story.
Mm-hmm.
You posted the first part of Kyle's book, but then you posted a saying of Kyle's from that book.
I got it written down right here.
Right. So I want I think there's
yeah.
a segue into that statement, Kyle. So let's hear right from Kyle's mouth. Maddie?
All right. Video is the hardest part of social media because it's the most truth-telling mirror we will ever look into.
Mm.
And with that, you went on in this chapter to talk about ego, which I think when you think of social media and ego, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, with that, it was, so you kind of went on, like, we confront our flaws, our history. How does my hair look? How do I sound? And what you brought up before is you were just comparing yourself to, oh, look at Fabi's setup compared to my setup. And one of the things that you really touch on in the book is, why are you comparing yourself? No business model, no person is the same. So if you're constantly trying to imitate someone else or compare your content, oh, someone else does it better, then you're forever stuck in that ego mind.
Forever, right? Unless you're Michael Jordan and he can truly compare himself and go, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, right? Unless we're the Michael Jordan of what we do, there's usually always going to be more people better than us than worse than us.
Yeah.
And so for as many people as I can go find that make me feel good about myself, I can go find equal amount of people that are better than me. But so then I just live on this seesaw of I'm good enough, I'm not good enough. I'm good enough, I'm not good enough. I mean, last night, right? Father's Day Sunday. And my wife's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, honey, I'm such an average dad. Like, I don't even feel like I deserve to be honored on Father's Day, if I'm being honest. And I was being very serious. And I get DMs from people all the time when I post about our kids that are like, man, you're such a great dad. I bet you're such a fun dad. And yet I can sit on my couch and think that I suck. And, I need to be so much better. And so we've got to just be focused on running our race.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then what do my kids think about me? If they're cool with where their dad is, then I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Yeah. And so that's the whole, like with social media, we should be listening to the right voices.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's another part in the book where I talk about the day that I quit asking my wife to watch my videos.
Yeah.
And how liberating that was, because I realized, wait a second, my wife doesn't give me money. She's not my coaching client. Like, why does her opinion matter when it comes to my video? And it was so liberating. And I've talked to hundreds of people who are like, man, when you said that, my biggest critic is my spouse. Mm-hmm. And it keeps me from doing things.
My wife says I laugh too much on this podcast, so she's not allowed to see this anymore.
Even though the first word is laugh in the title of the podcast.
Next to your head right now.
Right, I'm trying. Thank you. I hope she hears that part. But listen, I mean, either way, this is something I've felt for years, Kyle. So really, let's dive into this for a second. When I compare myself to somebody else, right? Whether I'm better than or worse than, right?
Yeah,
I'm always losing. There's no
100%.
end to that game. I mean, I like for me, I go to the gym, right? And all of a sudden I'm benching 140 pounds or 150, whatever I'm doing, right? And some other guy comes in and does 220, and the guy next to me is doing 90.
Yeah.
Like making fun of the guy with the 90, but also I feel bad because I can't go to 220.
Right.
There's no end to this stuff. It's a vicious cycle. So how does someone just get comfortable with just saying, you know what, we're going to hit that record button.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk into the camera. I mean, where is that one moment in your life? I know you were on the roof doing roofing and all that kind of thing, but what was that moment like? I'm just going to record and whatever happens, happens.
I don't, Fabi, I don't know that it's a moment, because I think like if I try to act like your opinion doesn't matter, the people are like, man, I don't care what people think. The fact that you have to say that out loud means that you care the most about what people think.
Good point. Good point.
Right? Like we should be able to have success in silence without barking and beating our chests and needing people to look at us. And so I think the first part is just realizing the only competition that I'm up against is who I look in the mirror every day. I made a post this morning, right? I got up and walked at 5:30 this morning. And in the post, I said, the reason I got up and walked is I woke up and I asked myself, like, what would the ideal version of me do right now? What would the version of me do that I want to be? And the answer was he'd get up and go work out. And I was like, gosh, dang it. Okay, fine. Then that's what and that's my competition. Because if I'm not careful, I'll watch all my buddies that are CrossFitting at 4:30 in the morning and running marathons. And now I'm just a big old fat loser when like I can't do that. That's not where I am in my life, but I can wake up today and make that conscious effort to just be better. And so today I won.
Yeah, it's
because I did it. And really I think that's that's what we've got to figure out.
It's one step. It's one step. It's always comes down to one step that differentiates between
that's it
execution and feeling bad about ourselves.
But the other part, which I think may even be more important, is right. I always tell people my superpower is that I love people more than I care about looking stupid.
And that was a big theme throughout the book.
Yes.
But I think you really, like, if you pretty much said it in the beginning, like, if you care more than what people think than you care about helping others, stop reading. Like, this book isn't for you.
Yeah.
Paraphrasing, but yeah. And I think
100%.
I think it's true. Because one of the things that I always say is social media, and it's funny that you actually like pretty much word for word said this in the book too, but social media is just supposed to be the connector. It's not going to be the thing that makes you a $1 million to $100 million producer in the mortgage world, but it's going to be the thing that maybe allows you to show others who wouldn't maybe want to work with you or don't know who you are, besides when you phone call and email and text and all that other stuff that's two-dimensional, we'll call it. Social media is that three-dimensional tool. Well, now you really get to combine all of your passions and your purpose into one place. But people are so afraid to
perfectly.
show the real side of themselves, and they want to make some artificial version of what you're saying too, like who they want to be.
And you did talk in your book that social media is not as social anymore. It's become salesy, I think is the word you used.
Yeah.
Right?
Business.
Yeah. I mean, we like what most of us have done, and it's not our fault. No, none of us knew any better, but social media showed up. And then the minute Facebook ads showed up, everything shifted because people all of a sudden had their eyes open to, oh my gosh, I can make money here. So all the teachers, the experts, were really like Facebook ad experts. They're digital marketing experts. And so now they're teaching people like how to use social, but they're teaching things that work for ads. But then everybody that's learning this is taking it to their people. And so now we're deploying strategies meant for strangers on our sphere. And then we look up and go, oh man, I wonder why my friends don't want to talk to me at Starbucks anymore. Because we just vomit our business on them constantly.
Yeah.
I was shocked that I post that stupid picture of me this morning on my walk, and it's like over 100 comments already. Yesterday, I post our newest commercial for my business. It had 3 likes, and one of them was my mom. Right? Yeah. And so it just goes to show that like there's so much opportunity out there for us to win the attention of others, but we've just got to take the business out of it and just show up as the person.
I think there's a 3-prong attack to social media, right? And I don't want to dive into this because this is not about a social media strategy session. I don't want to turn that into it, right? But one of them, I mean, is what you did this morning, right? Which is kind of being authentic. And I know that word is overused, but unfortunately, that's the only word that we can really think of today, based on what I posted you this morning. If you guys don't follow Kyle Draper or know of him or whatever, follow him on Instagram. Friend him on Facebook.
You need to redo that. If you you don't know whatever.
You will see the June 15th post then, right? Go back and figure out on how to get to June 15th, because it was both on Instagram and Facebook. But it was a really authentic post, and you were being honest.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you were like, I know you said like baby Ruby just came up, Lana, you just turned 40. You had all these little things, all these excuses.
Yeah.
But I say, okay, these excuses are legitimate, but you found a solution for them.
Well, that's why it's they're so dangerous.
Right. Exactly.
Fabi?
Yeah.
Because every single excuse I put in that post, someone in my life will validate it and go, bro, you need to take a break. You're right, man. Like, you're tired. Ruby's here. You're like, there's plenty of people that will validate those excuses in my life. That's the most dangerous one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we got to be careful.
Yeah, the voices in my head that sound the most reasonable are the ones that are really trying to kill me.
Dude.
That's what I've figured out about myself.
No doubt. That's very well said.
Let's go back to Madison with the real questions.
Come on.
All right.
Maddie likes to prepare her stuff. She sent me pictures of all these notes that she took for you. It was like 16 gazillion pages laid out. It was like more than the book itself.
I love it.
No. You texted me and said, "Are you ready for tomorrow?" So I said, "Yeah, here it is." And I showed him everything that I had. You got to tell them what the message was.
Just trying to throw you under the bus.
Always. And then he was like, "All right, cool. So you got it. Take over."
Hey man, if I can hit cruise control, man, look, think about this. You guys are talking about being 40s and Maddie's in their 20s. In what's today, 15th? In 9 days, I'm going to be 56.
Come on.
Dude.
Whoa, baby.
Do you understand? I mean,
man, you look incredible.
Everything starts to hurt. Everything starts to hurt, man.
I've already taken 6 Advil today just because I went on a walk this morning.
That's why I put on my mercy shirt, man. Have mercy on me, Lord. Come on. Give me a break, Lord. Give me a break.
Maddie, get us back on track.
I'm gonna bring it back. So I'm gonna bring it, and I'm gonna bring this back to the mortgage and real estate industry here for a second.
Okay.
So one of the things that, again, the authenticity, it's like that's the word that we're gonna use for this, but you want us to be authentic. We want to show our families, our passions, our things like this. So in our industry, I have a little bit of trouble sometimes with certain individuals in our industry because they don't separate business and personal in a professional manner.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example, and I would
Okay.
maybe like.
Are you talking about me again? Are you talking about me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Fabio's
Are we
been
about to throw
posting-
shade on some
He's
people?
been posting bikini pics, and I'm like, Fab, you can't do that.
I thought I looked good in a bikini.
But listen, so I meet a lot of my realtors and a lot of my referral partners through social media.
Okay.
One thing that I've recognized is I look at someone who is posting themselves drinking on a Tuesday night or out at the beach doing their selfies with, like, you know, no clothes on and things. For me, I know that they're trying to let us into their life and show us what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. But I think that there's got to be some sort of like fine line common ground where I have a personal Instagram and a personal or a professional Instagram. So like I went to my sister's bachelorette party this weekend. I did not post anything about my sister's bachelorette party on my business page. And in some ways, it's like, well, it was my sister and I was in Florida and I have my license in Florida. So part of me the whole time was like, should I post a picture that I'm in Florida and just like let them know that I'm here? But then the other part of me was like, is someone going to now? And actually, one of my realtors said this to me. She was like, do you think that maybe you posting on Instagram, like at the bachelorette party, because I was venting to her about another agent that was giving me a difficult time for not answering a client during this weekend that I told the client I wasn't there. She was like, well, do you think maybe because you posted on your personal page about you being on a boat, like she's mad? And it's like, am I not allowed to take a vacation? Am I not allowed to show that other side of me without being taken less serious? So I don't know if that's a question, but that was like, there's a lot to uncover in that.
There's so much to unpack.
Maddie is known for her rant.
Ramble. That was like a 3-minute question.
On her personal podcast that we do differently, which is called Madness Time. Literally, she does this for the entire 22 minutes, and I just kind of.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Have y'all listened to the podcast Smartless?
Not yet.
Have y'all heard? Do y'all know what it is?
No.
Okay, I won't get into it right now. Just do yourself a favor, check it out.
All right.
And there's a documentary now about it on Netflix. That's or I don't remember what. Maybe
Hulu,
Max. It's on something.
Yeah.
But one of the guys that's on there, they just make fun of him for how long-winded his questions are, and they're like, "Bro, seriously? Like, that was 10 minutes long, and then your question was the last 6 words."
No, my question was like the first 6 words, and then everything else after that.
Okay, so let's address several things in this. And again, these are all opinions; they happen to be mine. The first thing that I would address is I would coach you personally to get rid of 2 Instagrams.
Okay.
I just believe, especially Instagram specifically, it's such a, it's turned into such a brand platform that like your people want to see business Maddie and personal Maddie all at the same time. And then we could also go down a whole rabbit hole of like, if we're being honest, who wants to follow a mortgage Instagram page? Right? Like that's boring as like anything.
I know.
Right. So
I struggle daily trying to make it entertaining.
So you should want the personal aspects of you to spice up the business side of you. And again, there's balance in the way that we do that. But I think people would rather see that all together than for your people on your personal page to a year in go, oh, I forgot you were even in mortgage. Because you're trying to keep them separate.
I'm literally Hannah Montana trying to keep like the double life.
Yeah.
Right now, with Miley and Hannah right now.
And it's so hard. So then the second piece is, okay, well then like how far is too far and where's that line? And you know what I've come to learn in all my years of doing this is my opinion on this doesn't matter. Right? Like I choose not to be political on social media. I choose not to be a religious bigot that's using my belief, my faith to make you feel stupid, to make you feel less than. Amen. Right? I don't do that. But there's psychotic people on the opposite ends of the red and the blue that if they chose to be a hardcore Republican, a hardcore Democrat, the middle 80% are going to be super turned off. But there's other psychopaths just like them that will use them to get a loan. Right?
Yeah.
The douchebags of our industry, and that can take many forms. I don't like them. But guess what? There's other douchebags that want to see them in front of a Lambo, that want to see them in a skimpy bikini. And so what I'm getting at is, if what we are is simply true to ourselves, if you're more of a douchebag person, go be that.
Wow.
And we can sit here and go, ugh, I don't know that I would have posted that. But 1,000 likes later, there's 5 loans in that post from people like them.
And that's where the judgment comes in. And you talk about in the book, don't judge others. Because the second you're judging others, it's the egos coming in again, where you think that you're better, you can do it better, or someone else is doing it better than you by judging them.
Yesterday, I hope the mom listens to this. She probably never will, but my daughter was carpooling home from Girl Scout camp, and another girl in the car slapped her in the face.
Whoa, hey now.
Oh shoot.
And the mom of the girl that slapped her was driving. And so our daughter comes home, she bursts into tears, and my wife does such an unbelievable job of going, honey, we don't know what that little girl's going through that caused her to respond to you in that manner. And so we need to lead with love and that willingness to not pass judgment.
Wow.
Because what if her parents are going through a divorce, right? And so my daughter ended up on the receiving end of something far bigger than her. And so we just don't know. Like, we have no idea what's going on in people's lives, right? I look at all the posts of like the women in this industry that are flaunting themselves. My heart immediately goes to, gosh, like, I hate that at some point in their young life, someone told them that, like, you're not worth it for here. You need to start here.
Wow.
Right. And that's just the way I was raised. And that's the way that we believe. And my life is just so much better because I don't spend it tearing down other people.
So you're doing the don't judge, question method. You know what I mean? Instead of judging, you're questioning, hey, you know what I mean? Why are they doing this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the quote in the book, right, is by Walt Whitman, right, which is be curious,
there you
not
go.
judgmental.
There you go. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, like, you just cussed me out. And gosh, I wonder what's going on in your life that led to you to erupt on somebody that you don't even really know. My life's just so much healthier when that's my approach, as opposed to like, whoop, now you're on my hit list.
Just like reciprocating the same energy.
Yeah. But guys, in all fairness, I mean, social media is not as therapeutic and as open and loving as we're talking here. Social media seems to be more judgmental and more, like pitting oneself against the other. I mean, I've seen some things on social media where it's like watching a car wreck on 495 for me, right? You got to look at it, right? You can't not look at it, right? But like, I don't comment, right? But I've seen other people going back and forth over, politics.
Oh yeah.
Heck, I mean, the COVID thing that happened, I mean, should you get vaccinated? Don't get vaccinated. It's all, it's like,
Bobby, because we're a world full of broken people trying to convince everybody else that we're not broken.
Wow.
Right? Like, that's who we are. We're all jacked up. We're all messed up. We're all making mistakes.
Yeah.
But most of us are unwilling to accept it. And so we've got to live this facade that convinces you that I don't have any problems. And then no wonder you don't want to do a video on social media. Yeah. Because think about it like this. We create our worldview based first from the way we act.
100%.
So if I am a hyper judgmental person,
you think no wonder I don't want to judging you.
No wonder I don't want to do a video.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to assume that everybody's going to judge it.
Yeah.
But when I live my life doing my best to not judge, I don't have that hang up when I post videos, because my first assumption is, man, I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. I'm just trying to be helpful. And so now I'm more likely to post it.
It's interesting where social media really is a reflection of us, truly who we really, really are, or who we want to be. It seems to be that reflection comes out, right?
It's kind of like it's either or too. It's very rare that you find someone that's posting who they want to be and like actually living out who they want to be.
Yeah, but I think in some respect, like to Kyle's point, I mean, we're judging people based on our own experiences. Is a statement that I grew up with, right?
Yeah.
So my own experience is like, oh, if I can do that, then Kyle can do that. No, I mean, Kyle may not have that ability to do that, right? That's
Sure.
the way it kind of works. But I think you said something in the book that was really, for me, was, how'd you say it? We can only give away what we have.
Yeah.
Right?
Or I may have said we can't give away what we don't have.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was one of those things like that, right?
Yeah.
And that stuck to me because it felt like, you know, in social media, there are people that are not who they say they are, like Maddie's saying, right? But they're trying to pretend to be somebody. But it comes out sooner or later on social media. Like you can't hide on social media. Is that an accurate statement or not?
Well, no. or I would say it ends up coming out more in real life.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, how many people you think look one way, and then you meet them in person, you're like, "Woo!"
Yeah.
Did not know that you had a nose like that.
Or I was blown away. You know, like, so I don't cuss. Like, that's just not something that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always interested, like when I follow people online, and then I get around them in person, the first thing I pick up on is, holy cow, I've never heard you say the F word on Instagram. But you just used it as an adjective, a verb, and maybe even a noun in the same sentence at this dinner that we were all at. And I have a problem, not with the cussing, but with living one way online and then a different way in person. And so I think where we get in trouble is we try to create these personas online, but then we forget that we still have to show up in real life with people.
Yeah. Sooner or later, it's going to come out.
Yeah. And so my favorite compliment now is when I come off a stage and somebody will come up to me and say, like, can I hug you? And they'll say, I just want you to know you are as nice in person as you appear to be in your videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite compliment.
That's a yep.
Right. And I used to wish, like, I wanted Maddie to be like, you are so smart. You are hilarious. Like, I wanted all those. But now I just love that people go, man, you are the real deal.
You're the
who
nice
you
guy.
Are online is who you are in real life.
Yeah.
And I think that should be our goal.
I think I think for me, and look, I'm a little bit older, right? And I don't want to make a big deal out of that, but social media.
You've only mentioned it like 4 times already in 30 minutes.
Sorry about that. Is obviously some psychological shit's happening because I'm getting to that birthday.
He's clearly judging his age.
So, but social media does have that ability to kind of bring out a person that you want to be, or is it really the person that you think you are inside? What is it, guys?
I think it could be either direction. You know, because Maddie, go ahead.
No, I just am stumped.
I think there's 3 types of people on social media. There's the people that are posing.
Mm-hmm.
There's the people that are doing their best to just live themselves out authentically. And then the rest of the people just window shop because they don't believe in who they are, but they're not confident in who they want to be. And so they really don't show up. They just kind of like other people's content and watch other people's videos. And I think that's really where we could say, like, which third are you?
Yeah.
Are you showing up as yourself? Are you showing up as a different version of yourself? Or are you just not showing up because you haven't figured out how to overcome the insecurities to even get to that spot?
Can you post too much on social media?
No.
There's no such thing.
I think you could post too much of the wrong content.
Okay.
But the algorithms are kind of designed to protect us from ourselves, right? Like, I could post 10 times today
and
you might catch 1 or 2. My mom and my wife will see all of them. But other than that, like, that's part of what sucks about it, but also what protects us from it. And so, man, I have days that I'll post 4 times and you're probably lucky to see 1 of them.
Well, not on your particular group that you create on Facebook, you do that where you include all.
Yeah, the everyone tag.
And I know you got in trouble in the beginning, like people saying, "Don't do that," and you're like, "I'm going to do that," right?
Yeah, people are idiots,
forth, right? Like they're part of your group, and then they're yelling at you. I'm
yeah,
like,
it's like this is my group. this is my group. Or like it's like when my kids are like, "That's not fair, Dad." I'm like, "Tough crap.
Yeah.
You're my kid. Like I made you. You don't have a say in this, right?" And that's how I feel about my group. It's like you requested to be in this group. If you don't like the add everyone tag,
you came to me.
Get out.
I think you said that actually. I think you actually said.
Oh, I say it every time. Yeah, if you're offended by this, leave. I don't care. You should know by now that I'm not a salesperson that's on there trying to collect another buck from you. So if I'm going to use the tag, I'm using it in a way because I think it matters. But guys, most people wake up. I shouldn't say most. Hopefully there's more good people than that. But I just think so many people wake up every day looking around to be offended.
Yeah, well,
because our bodies are designed to feel emotion. And sadly, for a lot of people, they don't know how to feel good emotion. They just know how to feel bad emotion. So they go looking for who can I be mad at? Who can I add to my hit list? Then it's wild. Then this is not about rethink everything anymore.
There's a whole book about being offended. Have you? It's by Reverend Bevere, I think.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of it.
Is it John Bevere? I can't remember his name, but I read the book. Michael David Chapman had me read it.
Oh, okay.
He said to me, Fabi, you get offended too easily. I said, I do not. Don't say that again.
I'm offended. You said that.
I said, God, I can't. I'm not messing around with it. And then it was like this amazing moment where I realized, this was like 3-4 years ago, where I was like, oh my God, I get offended so easily. I had no idea how sensitive I was. And
wow,
that's called Satan's trap. And
yeah,
so I was totally unaware of that. And so for me, it was like also
so good.
Yeah. So when people get offended, is because they choose to be, because they're being, soft skinned or whatever you want to call them. I don't want to dive into that part too much. I don't want to steal Kevin's thunder.
We could do a whole episode about that.
Trust me, we could. But
that's what holds most people back.
Offended.
Yep.
Because okay, let's dive into this real quick. What the heck? Sorry.
Let's do
it. Look, here's the way it works. The word offend, right, in the book, and I hope I'm not giving the guy's name wrong. It's a really great book. I should read it again. But he talks about where the word offend came from. It was like a Greek word.
Okay.
And the word actually came from the stick that holds the cage up. So when the animal would hit it, the cage would go over the animal and get trapped.
Okay.
And when you think about the word offend, when I get offended, I'm trapped in my own cage.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where and as soon as I read that, I was like, oh my God, I gotta stop getting offended. I can't. I'm like drinking battery acid, hoping the other guy dies.
Oh, it's a killer.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, what do you think about offended on social media? Let's just stick to social media and being offended on social media for a second.
Well, I think the first thing, like if somebody puts a negative comment on a post, original blame has to go to the person that created the post.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if I'm not willing to take on offense, then I shouldn't show up there in a public place where people can have opinions.
Right.
Right? So that's on me. And part of being offended is that unwillingness to take responsibility for anything. Right? We went to premarital counseling before we got married, and then we still go to the same counselor throughout our 13, almost 14 years of marriage. And, one of the big things that he taught us was like, stop using absolutes and then stop using words that give the power to other people. Right. So like, Fabi, you made me so mad. Whoa. Don't give Fabi that power.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make you mad. You chose to be mad.
Yeah.
But most of us can't hear that.
Mm-mm.
Which is why we never get better, right? We get better.
Yeah.
And so my parents always taught us to eat the fish and spit out the bones, right? every offense that comes our way, there's usually some layer of truth in it. Right? You're right, Maddie. I could have been better. But then there may be some other parts of whatever you said to me that I honestly go, but that part was really stupid and I totally disagree with it.
Right.
I'm not going to be offended by it.
I'm gonna be offended.
But I don't have to agree with it.
Yeah. And
So.
I think that also just comes back to like, you're posting things because you either know that people want to hear, like you said, like you write a list of all the things that people have asked you about your business. And that's probably not the first thing we think of when we're thinking of what should I post today is what do other people want to hear? It's what version of myself, what do I think that people want to hear? What's important to me that I feel as if everyone else that's following me cares about so much rather than, all right. Or I think it gets more, I think social media needs to be a little more intentional. I think
absolutely
nobody ever posts pictures of them filing bankruptcy on social media.
Don't worry, that picture's coming tomorrow for me.
I mean, or like their car being
shock the world.
Their car being repossessed. You know what I mean? Like it's never that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's always the wins. It's never the losses.
Oh, of course.
And so that I always find that interesting. Like, why don't we talk like when you did your thing today? Like, guys, these are all the excuses in my head, but I'm still going to go out. And then all of a sudden, you got all the support from your community. Right? That had to feel good.
Yeah, so, I told my wife this morning, I'm like, I can't believe I have this many comments on some stupid selfie of me walking.
And isn't that the funniest? I feel like every time I've ever tried to like curate the perfect post, thinking that that's going to be the one that gets the most views, and then I got some random thing that I like didn't think twice about posting maybe, or was just like, oh, screw it, I need to post something. And it was like something that was completely not planned or curated to target a specific person. And that's the one that blows up. And that's the funny thing. It's like, you can't be an expert at social media because unless you find out exactly what people are looking for, you're just posting for yourself.
Well, but here's exactly why, Maddie, that works. If you and I are at coffee, our entire conversation, unless one of us is trying to sell something to the other, but if you and I are just having coffee as friends, our entire conversation is the authentic post you don't overthink.
Yeah.
Wow.
Neither one of us showed up with an agenda. Neither one of us showed up with talking points, right? We're just two people having a conversation. And so if we would show up on social the way we talk to our friends at coffee, we would get way more engagement and more business by actually talking about our businesses less.
Wow. Wow. All right, guys, look, we went way past Kyle. I mean, just to show you how much Maddie loves you. We were about 10 to 15 minutes way past our allotted time for guests. But, dude, I know that this was a busy day for you, and I appreciate you coming on the show again.
Of course.
We love having you.
Anytime, guys. I love being here.
We're going to have round 3. We're going to have a whole thing about just, like, getting offended on social media one-on-one.
So, guys, out there, if you don't have Kyle's book, go to Amazon.com.
Get the digital copy.
Digital, like old-fashioned Fabi who needs paperback so I can write through it all. And
the audio version is coming out in June.
Audio version is coming out in June. Perfect. All right, JP, get us out of here, my man.
45.
Looks like Tom Duncan.
Sounds like, must be a duck.
Jersey girls are the best.
What? The bunny ears are back.